Double Edge, and just want to talk about trusting God with the little things. Just got back from a few days, about 5 days of vacation, and even the little things, just sometimes we take advantage of and trust in God for different things. And anything. There was a weird thing that happened to us with another story that I'll tell from my vacation was our power went out on Saturday night, and there's all these weird thing, the weird things going on with there was a wedding, and the wedding they had to evacuate the wedding. So we actually went down into the town where there was the thing, and we went out to eat and stuff. And we came back, the power was still out, and but it was weird because it was like out at parts. Like my parents' room had the power, and my sister and brother-in-law's room had power had lights in their bathroom, but then it all went out. And we just kind of had to just kind of trust God with the whole thing. And it was dark, and it just made the best out of it. We kind of hung out. It kind of felt like we were camping and not at a hotel. And so we had that, and eventually the power went off, but it wasn't until like the next morning. I just said, but at one point I just said, you know what, enough of this. It's dark. It's dark in my room. Hopefully it's cool enough. I'm just going to trust God. I'm going to go to bed, and the thing will take care of itself. And that's what happened. About 8 o'clock, the thing, I didn't quite get my phone charged all the way, but it lasted for the whole day, and we were actually checking out that next morning. I had to trust God because there's just whatever. I mean, these circumstances, things happen, but that was just a little thing. Another thing that God provided, and I'm not going to go into depth. I talked about this on 4th and 10. I'm not going to go into depth, but with trusting God on the way home, with finding someplace to eat. It wasn't looking good. I didn't really want to go to a McDonald's or Burger King. Eventually, we got off at a stop, and all the places were closed. It was only like 8 o'clock, and they were all closing. I got back on the highway. I just said, Lord, I pray that we could have someplace to eat that preferably wasn't a Burger King or Arby's, a little bit specific. I mean, wasn't a Burger King or a McDonald's, and I ended up finding an Arby's a little bit off the highway and a few miles down the road, and God provided in this. So it's just good to trust God in the little things. When we can trust God, it's going to help us not to be stressed out, not to be whatever. The benefits of trusting God with little things will cause us to have less stress, will help us to sleep better, will help us to have better health overall. The Lord taught us that little things are often a big reason that we don't trust God. We don't look at the little things. We need to stop worrying and start living in faith and trusting God in those. Good scripture to meditate on, to look at, is Philippians 4:6. It says, "Do not be anxious for anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God." So don't be anxious. Give the things to God. If there's little things that are bothering, just a little thing in your day, just trust God. It could be stupid. You may say, "Oh, that's too small to bother God," but I'm not going to bother God with that thing. That thing's too small. I'm not going to deal with it. God is telling us that we shouldn't be anxious about not about just the big things, but we shouldn't be anxious about the small matters either. Instead, when we feel anxiety coming, we need to give the situation to God and let Him do His thing. Request your request. Give it to Him like a gift that you wouldn't take back. As strange as it sounds, when you give Him our troubles, we are giving God the gift of faith, and He loves when we put our faith and trust in Him. It's just an awesome thing, and having to do that. So, just talk about God has shown Himself trustworthy in the past with little things in your life. Think about all the times that God has come through, and it will encourage you to trust Him and pray and trust Him in the little things. God also gives us wisdom for the little things. We learn of a good tech guy or gal to call up for our mess computer or something broken, or we go to Google, find a solution. We get advice from a friend. I don't just the different things that go on. I used wisdom that God gave me that we should too, that we don't just go like to the technology thing. Let's trust God that He's going to take care of the situation. And then be thankful. Be thankful when it's done. When it happens, we should thank God for the ways that He's been faithful in answering our little prayers. We can also thank Him in advance for giving us what is best. Thank Him before it happens. even if it's the first round of what's going on. Don't treat it as such. Thank God that He's with us. He's for us. What a confidence builder that is, even as we face some really hard, big challenges in our faith, such as the power going out the other night. When we face the challenges, we trust God that He's going to take care of it. I want to thank Him right now for inspiring me to do and to share this with you. So that's how to trust God. And we can trust God in all different phases of our life, with our kids, health and safety, spouse, finances, parents, possessions, success, sin, salvation, you name it. Trust God in the little things. Just want to give you that little message today. All right. Well,